How does India get in?
Yeah, India comes in as a donor country. We have the skill to train people. We have the skill of doing projects. The very fact our highway project that we did, is a lesson. Border Roads Organization doing it, Border Road Task Force doing it. Is a very good example. Infrastructure. We can help.
India's already invested $3 billion.
Well, 3 billion, but don't crow about it. 3 billion is nothing in a nation's development. It's the friendship that you want to build with a nation, and then if you want to benefit out of it, well, you have to know how to derive that benefit. A dividend, not benefit. Dividend where both share. Mutual benefits, as we say. No, but so India can come in. Well, our universities are good enough. I am India trained. Many of my colleagues in the Indian Foreign Service are India trained. I think we are about the best in the world in terms of intellect, training, exposure. So we can give the same too. Like you can see the Afghan cricket club, Afghan cricket also. How they have moved is the little thrust we gave them a ground in Dehradun to play within the climes of interest for themselves. So okay. So that's it. So we are useful in many ways. There's no, for India to be useful to Afghanistan, there is no one or two things. See, in a competition between China, Pakistan, India, you ask the Afghan, India wins hands down. Now, that is our interest. How do you exploit that? The collective wisdom of India has to exploit that.
So it is in India's strategic advantage to move quickly in the region as a donor, as a supporter of skill development,
yes,
as somebody who's interested in the development of
Afghanistan
and Afghans.
Don't
because
worry.
Afghans, as you said, look at India and Indians as a close friend and ally.
You see, like for example, when the BJP came in 2014, many countries realized that, the Congress was more friendly. But then you have to deal, even if you don't like the BJP, you have to deal with the BJP government. They have been here for the last nearly 5 plus years, nearing in 2024, they have completed 10 years. So, you see, it's like something you do not know, get to know. Don't be afraid. Get to know. See, it's not like the mother telling the child, "Beta, here, this is fire, don't touch it, fire, it'll burn your hand." So, we can't give such advice. Our collective wisdom must be more virile. We can't be like the elephant. Slow start. Even if it is a slow start, move.
That brings me to this interesting segue into some of the most extraordinary work that you did serving for your country, for India and its national interests was when BJP was in power, when Prime Minister Vajpayee and Foreign Minister Jaswant Singh. The kind of work that you did, securing India's interest in that region, talk us through your relationship with Jaswant Singh.
Well, I must tell you, may their souls rest in peace. They're one of my favorite people I worked with, Prime Minister Vajpayee, External Affairs Minister Jaswant Singh. And we were a very good team because if at the civil service level, I did have a very good leader in Vivek Kajju, who was in charge of the Afghan affairs. And we definitely had our fingers on the ground, ears to the ground, and we saw wider than we could. And we worked. And we worked silently without making much of a noise. And so all I can say is that Jaswant Singh was a man who heard. He was a man who would take my personal call. He was a man who would also call me. So, I like that. And of course, Prime Minister Vajpayee was a very good listener. And I always, whenever it was briefing on Afghanistan, Vivek Kajju and me would accompany Jaswant Singh to the Prime Minister. And we were very well received, well heard, and me in the habit of speaking out of turn would be very, very deferent in their presence. And because I could read their mind that they are reading my mind, and I had no conflict in their thinking. And of course, as I said, I can't deny the fact that, I did learn a lot on Afghanistan, even from my very good colleague Vivek Kajju. Of course, he has a different view, more different than my view on Afghanistan, but he certainly, you see, it's a question of we both have the same facts, but we respond to the fact differently.
Between 1996 and 2000, when you were posted in Dushanbe as India's ambassador and also looking at Afghanistan, a lot of remarkable things happened. And the government of India backed you to the hilt from
Yes.
the highest levels.
Yes.
The way you set up the intelligence operations, the way you were able to get accurate information, and the way you were relaying the accuracy back really helped planners in Delhi work with you to execute some of our national interests.
Yes.
Talk us through, if you can, how you set up those operations and all the beautiful interventions.
Well, I must say, they happened it was unplanned, but it was just my gut feeling that took me forward in what I was doing, and I would convey this very faithfully what I thought in my meetings. If I met Masood, I would faithfully convey to headquarters and say that what Masood said, without mincing words, without adding my word to it. No, just faithfully I convey it, and then I give my two-bit.
You met him thrice a week or something like that?
It was as many times as possible, but it was at least minimum twice a week. It was a very, very good experience where the man is so honest. He tells you when he loses a battle, and he tells you why he lost the battle. He shows you the map, points it out to the map, how he got trapped or how he lost it, or who monetized his surrender. Those things he would put it across. And then he said, my problem is I'm not having enough cash. He said, that one, if I had $5,000, that post would have been mine. He is so practical. He goes to the last cent on his expenditure, how to spend, and how to derive that benefit from the last cent he has.
You also coordinated military and material support for
Yes.
Masood's Northern
That
Alliance.
was the assignment given, and I could. And if something didn't arrive, I would convey it to headquarters that something didn't arrive, and then the government would do the thing. And once, of course, I sent a very classic Bollywood message saying that our assistance to Masood always seems almost like, like that Ajit Singh joke of isko liquid oxygen में फेंक दो, वो liquid इसको ना जीने देगा, ना oxygen उसको मरने देगा. So I said that was the kind of my
I think
perception of
on
assistance.
receiving that message, Foreign Minister Jaswant Singh actually
Yes,
called
he
you
called
directly.
me and we
Yeah.
spoke, and I told him. So he very nicely told me, he said, Muthu, I understand your message. I thought he's going to give me a dressing down on being light in my judgment. So he told me, he said, I understand what you said. Please assure the commander we'll attend to all his needs.
Ambassador, we've seen these classic Cold War movies, and how people working for respective governments, have literally put their lives on the line to do stuff, and all this fascinating. And I think the India Club story in Dushanbe is worthy of a movie. I mean,
Yes.
it was one of those
Yes.
classic interventions that you
Yes.
did. Tell us about the India Club and how it came.
Well, the India Club The moment we found premises for our embassy, it was a very good premises. It was a premises that was owned by the Federation of Trade Unions in the Soviet Union, and it was available for rent. I went and saw the place. It had a nice auditorium, nice backyard, nice courtyard, and very nice set of rooms. It needed some renovations, lot of upgradation to be done for many things, which I worked it. And then finally I saw one room, which was like a room that was like a cafeteria during that trade union days when their office was there. I said, yes, this is a good one. And I've seen very many marine clubs, US marine clubs and British club all over wherever I served. And everybody would go, crazy, saying that, see what they can do, how they use their premises and sort of interact with locals and other diplomatic community and so on. So I saw that was to an extent, yes, and an example. I said, I'll make it my way. In times when there are no newspapers and TV news to look for, it's a civil war zone, mind you. Civil war in Tajikistan. And well, I opened that no-profit bar, and I had two chefs who I allowed to do the catering and gave them the kitchen. They came in with their equipment, and they were this thing. So we had you have eaten there, and very many people came there. Even Abdullah have entertained him there. And
what
Khan,
role did the India Club play in India's foreign policy?
In the Indian Foreign Service, the Indian Foreign Service, given a choice, they shut it, and which they did. But nobody wanted such a thing to happen because they think that it is not moral. But then that was where I got all my information. I have the French intelligence guys going across, coming back. I have these the CIA conduits who go across the border, come back, and then you have the German intelligence going across, coming back, and they're all giving me inputs from the ground.
And the fascinating...
And all over a drink.
All over a drink. And the fascinating thing was there were two clubs. Tajikistan was in a civil war situation. Dushanbe would lock down at 9 p.m.
Yes.
There was a UN bar and there was the India Club bar. And everyone would hang on in India Club bar.
India Club.
And your principle was, till the last person leaves, I'm not shutting the bar.
Yes.
And then you would drive your two employees home, and before you coming back.
Yes.
You spoke Russian, and everyone, the Tajik army knew you, so you use that leverage to get, it became a listening post.
Yes, it was a listening post. It was a news gathering. I would sit in one corner, and the news comes to me, and I report faithfully to headquarters what I hear from the field.
And the legend says that the Tajik president would call you every day in the morning.
Well, his advisor would.
His advisor would.
Well, his national security advisor would call to ask me what is the news. And I would share, as I said, no information is secret. That is what everyone understood, the people I was in touch with. Everyone understood that no information is secret. It was how you use that information, secret. Because that's there for everyone to see the fact. Only thing was there was no media to take those bites. But our governments benefited from those bites. And that is where we acted. And if we did something worthwhile for the Northern Alliance, it was because of this, that we were faithful. Communications was our way of getting things done. No interpretations, no fiction. That's it.
the US government is on record to have been, Hillary Clinton said this: we created the Mujahideen, we created the Taliban, we created the problem, US fought a war on terror and has now retreated. What role does now US play in the region?
Well, that we can only see that role, US role, in how Qatar and Turkey play out. And of course, you have the MI6 chief, Richard Moore, who trusts the Pakistanis more than he would trust us. Now, that is another Anglo-South Asia game they are playing, because in a non-democratic setup, any country is a pliable country to the West. So to that extent, Turkey is pliable to the US, Pakistan is pliable to the US. We are also pliable. But only thing, we are one of those very shy lots. We are the shy type. We want to do everything secretively and, and let others not know what we are doing and so on. So we think that every relationship is an adulterous relationship. So that is our folly. But we must be more open. We must be gutsy. And looking back again at American outlook and what America's play will be in the region, America will continue to be a mischief maker. They've already identified the next war to be conducted, that is with the Islamic State, Khorasan. Now, where that battle will be fought, where it will be initiated, and under what pretext it will start is difficult to say. But one thing I can tell you, China better watch its backside.
Ambassador Muthu Kumar, thank you for a fascinating interview.
Thank you very much.